Welcome back.
Welcome.
Today we're going to talk about the fans we picked, the flooring that we've already installed, and then our center console that we repurposed.
Yeah.
Okay.
MaxxAir Deluxe
are the fans that we picked.
And we picked these fans for a lot of reasons. They were fully operable by remote control, has the automatic rain guard on it. You can operate them while the vehicle is moving. They seem to be the most popular fan for people to pick with these conversions and for RVs and stuff, so we thought we'd give them a try. We installed two of them, one in the front, which is going to be kind of the cooking living area, and then one in the back over the bed. We also went with two because we wanted to be able to create that airflow. We don't really have any windows that can open in the van. We have the slider window and the two windows on the back, and none of those open. So we want to be able to keep the dogs cool, especially if we end up in a little bit of a warmer climate.
Right.
Obviously we don't plan on being in the desert in the middle of the summer, but you know how things go. And then also for cooking and ventilation, just being able to kind of get the smells out of the van if we happened to be stuck in a city somewhere where we couldn't cook with the slider door open or whatever. So
right.
So to help us with installing the fans, we went ahead and purchased two roof adapters from DIY Vans. I came across them when I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube about the fan install. I wanted to know what I was getting into before I decided to cut holes in the roof of the van we just bought. And there's a couple out there, Finding Fresh Air is their handle on Instagram and YouTube, and they have a really great install video using these adapters, which is how I found out about them. I kind of dug them up on Instagram. Now, unfortunately, they don't seem to have a website. They only sell through eBay. I'm not sure why that is, but they are in the US. They're out of Oregon. The shipping was pretty quick, and I think the adapters are a pretty reasonable price. And what the adapters do is, wherever it is on the roof that you're installing your fans, and they have them for the Sprinter, the Transit, and the ProMaster, you have the ribs that go across the top of the roof in different areas. What the adapters do is, depending on where you're going to put the fans, so you need to know where you're going to put them before you order them because they make them for different sections of the van, it molds the fan to where those ribs are. So when you cut the hole, you don't have to either just try to screw the fan directly to the roof, and now you have like all of these gaps going along it, and try to fill it with butyl tape or just try to seal it up really well.
Yeah.
It basically makes it a flat surface for you to mount the fan to. Now, it did add an extra step in the fan install because of that. So it ended up taking us a little bit longer to install the fans than I thought we originally felt it was going to.
Yeah, but I feel like it was a necessary item to have because it's going to make for that very sealed fan, and so obviously you're going to have to check it and do maintenance just like you would a house, but trying to prevent leaks and any gaps, and I think that really sealed everything to the top of the van. We won't hopefully have to, fingers crossed, worried about leaks earlier on as long as we continue to do our maintenance throughout the road trip and continue to seal it up with Flex Seal or anything like that, we should be good.
Yeah, and they also, if for no other reason, make a great stencil so you know exactly where to place the fans and where to cut it out. They're sized exactly for the Max fans or the Fantastic fans. It's a 14 by 14 square hole. So you can take that roof adapter right up to the roof, lay it out, decide where it is that you're going to put it, and then just draw it out with a marker using that as a stencil instead of trying to, you know, measure out 14 by 14 or try to do it with just the fan. Check out the DIY fans on Instagram. They make a bunch of different adapters and stuff too. They make some interesting things for the vans. They have like solar mounts for your roof, and they do like speaker cutouts for some of the bays inside of the van and stuff like that. So if you think there's something else on there that you might want, but definitely recommend. We are not sponsored by them. We paid full price for everything that we've done on the van so far, and we're just pretty happy with the way it turned out. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the flooring that we got was a vinyl laminate flooring. It's 100% waterproof. It's called Nucor, and one of the reasons that we decided on this flooring was mainly, well, we liked the way it looked.
Yeah.
The price point wasn't too bad, but mostly because it has this cork backing on it. And cork was one of the flooring options that we had discussed possibly putting in the van.
Yeah, to help with some sound deadening.
And some insulation properties.
Correct.
But after some more research, what we discovered was that cork flooring doesn't hold up very well to pets. It scratches pretty easily. If you spill anything on it, it stains. And then you have to go back and reseal it. You know, for a house, they say you have to reseal it once a year. I'm sure living in a van where that's your only flooring and you're getting a lot more traffic, it probably would have been more often than that.
Correct.
So cork went off of our list and we went back to the 100% vinyl flooring, the waterproof flooring. But yeah, when we found this and it had the cork backing on it, we thought it was kind of the best of both worlds. We were pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, I think when we went, we weren't really sure we were going to get any flooring. We ended up getting a sample of this and loved it. I mean, there was another flooring we saw, but beforehand it was super dark. It had some like lighter highlights in it, but when seeing it in such a small space, we really wanted something that had maybe a little blue kind of flecked through it, which this has, and then also that was a little on the lighter end to make the space feel larger.
Yeah.
That's kind of always the key, and I think in a small space is kind of make it feel a lot bigger than it is.
Yeah. So it's a tongue and groove installation. The install was actually pretty easy for getting it in there. The hardest part was just measuring it out and cutting the pieces to fit. So what we did is we laid it out beforehand, decided like how we wanted the pattern to go and to look on the floor, and where the floor was going to be visible versus where we were going to be building cabinets and stuff. And then once we figured that out, Katie took some painter's tape and just labeled each plank in the order to go back and so we could actually do the cuts and reinstall it.
Yeah.
But it went together super easy. Probably if we had started a little bit earlier in the day, it would have been a one-day install.
Yeah.
But because we started a little bit later, due to working from home and stuff like that, it ended up carrying over into the next day, but we only spent like maybe another hour or so on it. So I would say in all the install was maybe like four hours.
4 hours, yeah.
5 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The owners previously had like this big center console that they had a McDonald's like tray screwed into that they were putting everything on. We liked some of it, but obviously we wanted to make it a little bit nicer. So they had a two-tiered portion. We took off the smaller top portion and made that the center console. So we took out that bottom completely so we could still add a swivel chair later on into our build.
It was built up pretty high between the two seats, which was nice and convenient. But we knew that we wouldn't be able to add the swivel chair and have it be able to turn all the way around with it that high.
Toaster really likes to kind of sit up front with us, along with Sumo, so we knew that if we had a little place for them to sit, that'd be easier than them up on our lap. That was kind of a big determining factor for us, as well as where can they be close to us, but not in our way, especially the driver's way.
Yeah, so it's got some cup holders. There's a USB charger in the front so we can charge our phones while we're going down the road. The top lifts up so we can store all kinds of junk in there. And then the back part has a couple more chargers, voltage meter so we can monitor the vehicle battery, and a couple more cup holders.
Next, we tackle solar.
Yeah, so these were all the projects that we spent, I guess, like the second week of our COVID-19 quarantine, really trying to finish up and button up, because we knew that we were going to be getting our solar kit in very, very soon. And so we wanted to have everything cleared out, the floor done, everything installed, so that we could just focus on starting to build stuff into the van and getting the solar installed. That's pretty much where we are now.
Thank you for watching again.
We'll see you next week. Bye.